Good Sunday morning. We are here for the Arsenal and Spurs North London Derby watch-along. After the disappointment of yesterday, we get to, spread our misery, as Trevor says there, with everybody else. We will be talking about the Liverpool game, I'm sure, during the game, but mostly we'll be hopefully laughing at Arsenal and cheering on Big Ange just because he's so large and he needs the encouragement. Trevor's trying
his size only.
His size only, yeah. How are you this morning, Trav? Have you recovered from yesterday?
Yeah. Spent the majority of my afternoon napping away the pain, so I'm pretty ready to go for this game today. Hopefully, Spurs can keep us in second.
I mean, that would be a nice thing to I mean, it's too early in this season really to be getting all upset about a result. But it wasn't a fantastic performance by any means whatsoever. Lots of prejudices that we have all had in different areas of the Liverpool team brought to bear and sharply focused, I think. Not least of all where we're going in the attacking situation. We really, probably could have done it for me. We probably could have done with Shaqiri at this rate yesterday.
That game was screaming for Divock Origi.
That actually would not have been a bad shout at all, just to get Divock Origi in there. But the match is about to kick off. It's I don't know why it sounds like radio. I never understood why they did this, right? Because I used to listen to a lot of Premier League games when it first started on the radio because we couldn't afford cable, which is where it went. But Arsenal are shooting from left to right. Spurs are shooting from right to left. I don't know why they ever said that on the radio. You can't see it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I always enjoyed that. Or them describing the full outfits, the full kit layout. Like,
for those of us,
I don't need to know what color socks that Spurs are wearing today. That's of no consequence to me.
For those of us listening on AM, Arsenal are in black and Spurs are in white.
Yes,
it's already a corner to Arsenal. 45 seconds in. How do you think they're going to do without Rice and Odegaard? Odegaard. Is it Odegaard?
Yeah, Odegaard.
Odegaard
and Alfiore's out, and there's a lot of omissions from the Arsenal lineup today, and I just it's one of those things where I really just, if this is a time for Tottenham to take advantage of it, it needs to be now, because this is Arsenal setting up in their weakest manner. And I'm trying to just kind of figure out. Did that go out? All right. They like both managers are sitting there saying that the ball went out, but it clearly didn't. So and got our first foul of the game. And already Arsenal players surrounding the free kick taker, clearly learning nothing from what Declan Rice did to get him sent off to put themselves in this predicament. But
I mean, whoever said footballers were the smartest people on the planet?
Nah.
To be fair.
Not many Rhodes scholars coming from these ranks, but you'd think after you got your best player sent off and putting you in the hole that you're in, you would try not to recreate that mistake 1 week later. But it was also Kai Havertz, so if a guy that I believe refers to himself as a donkey, so that may fit in more ways than one. But
I mean, like after that corner, it seems Spurs have at least the territorial advantage right now.
Yeah,
so much of what we did yesterday just seems a lot of passing for nothing. I don't get it.
Yeah, just trying to get those completion percentages up.
I mean, do you remember like in the old days, like in the pounds, shillings, and pence era of football, like players would get goal bonuses and stuff like that, like of an extra like £10 on their wages. Maybe that's what they do. They have to if you get your passing percentage above 90% at the end of the game, you get an extra 10 grand.
Yeah.
Lose or draw.
Well, that seems to be what that's not going to get you that bonus. Who was that? Romero. Oh, and a dumb foul by Martinelli. But
he has dumb foul face as well, Martinelli. Like, he actually has the face for it. Lego Head's already out doing his gesticulations with his hands.
Oh,
which is really, really hard to do when your hands are shaped like that all the time.
Yeah, it's definitely how just a person trying to learn how to clap.
Or hold beer bottles.
Yeah, that Mikel Arteta and Vin Diesel can have that discussion, because that's the running gag that Vin Diesel in the Fast and Furious movies doesn't know how to like hold a beer bottle, like he's never drank before, so it's just awkward, and it's got Lego hand claw on it, and it's quite entertaining to. Oh, what was it? There was something where I saw there was a red carpet, and somebody just asked him to like hold a bottle, and he got super like pissed off about it, because I guess he just knew them. Oh, and as I'm talking about Vin Diesel not knowing how to hold a beer bottle, Spurs get the first shot on goal of the game, and it's a pretty good one. Kulisevsky, yeah, not having a bit of continuity on that side is going to. Yeah, where was Ben White even going? But well, we'll see what Spurs can do with their corner.
Nothing.
And it's just a bit too far, and now we got ourselves a little foot race. And Vicario, all right, back and forth really, but let's see. It's all settled down. Now we're back to our little pointless triangles in the midfield.
Ah, look, they're all friendly there.
Saka getting back to the end line to.
I think I'm a little bit behind you. So
I'm at 6:13 on the clock right now.
Oh yeah, I'm 10 seconds or ahead of you, rather. I'm 10 seconds ahead of you.
All right. So I will do my best.
Yeah, Martinelli has a punchable face. There's just no two ways about that.
He's a guy that definitely spills a beer at the bar and then gets incredulous when he's asked to clean it up. Just, what? Isn't that what you get paid to do?
Ooh.
But this is all Spurs. Oh my God. So that's one of those things where, like, I get it that there's always going to be like player momentum, but Van de Ven going that far, like he just, and they're showing the replay now on my thing. I get that you think maybe it's going to slip to the back post that much, but not giving yourself a chance to work off a keeper save like that just is like, yeah, that's why you are a defender. But yeah, is Arsenal finally going to get?
I mean, Arsenal look very, very, very normal without Odegaard and Rice. Like
the guys are kind of just marshal everything. Now it's just like a bunch of kids running around, just trying to get the ball upfield as quickly as they can and hope for the best. Whereas Rice and Odegaard gave them kind of 2 lines of stability, and now they just don't really know what to do. They're that kid playing FIFA against Timuchin, just running it up the sideline every time, and Spico running up the sideline and just trying to ring crosses in over and over and over again, even though there's nobody in the middle of the box. Just to, I don't know, kind of pointless, but maybe at one point Spurs just shut off and one of those things slipped through to the other side and they get a goal. It's not out of the realm of possibility with the Romero Van de Ven partnership for all their talents. They are kind of, yeah, I was gonna say, but that's why keep doing it over and over again if they don't work. That seems to be what Arsenal is aiming for today. Just run and gun, no pun intended. But yeah,
I mean, they're defending a lot of Arsenal in this game more than you'd expect them to.
Yeah, and that goes back to what you were saying, just how calming of presences Rice and Odegaard are. They always, if a guy's in trouble or gets kind of caught in between two spaces, they're always that release valve. They're always that outlet, either forward or backward, that kind of gives these guys that kind of get out of jail free card, where there's never really a time where you have to really sweat needing to get by 2 guys to get out of it, because you can just kind of pass and move at that point. And without them, it just seems more of, all right, we'll lose the ball here, but we'll get it back, and then we'll just try to run and do the same thing over and over again.
Free kick in.
And Madison, just put the ball behind the line, dude. Come on. I've never understood what that extra 1 inch does. You're basically just trying to troll the ref at that point, and it's so stupid.
I mean, I think Madison is a troll, to be fair.
But
I mean, there's that great clip on YouTube or something like that where he's pointing all the players.
The ball went out in the other manager's box, and they were almost to the edge of the spot. Oh, but as you're saying,
yeah, it's Madison with the corner, and then I think he was at Spurs, and he has the ball off the corner arc by a good bit. And the crowd are like, trying to get the ref's attention, so he moves it to the other side and does it again, and then like gives them a cheeky wink, and they all like, "Oh, he's all right, mate. He's all right.
He knows what he's doing." I don't know if I don't even think that's close to a London accent, but I'm here for it regardless.
Arsenal giving away the free kicks, as Arsenal tends to do. I don't recognize this referee. He has hair
as well. Like, why are you wrestling a guy off the ball? Like, yeah, he'd gotten rid of the ball like 5 seconds before, and I don't think we're going to see the.
I'm just looking at our little ticker down there, and I'm like, nearly 50 years old, and it's only just occurred to me how ridiculous the word Hotspurs is. I mean, what is it even?
If that's what the chicken is supposed to be, then whatever. Or a cockerel. I'm sorry, I don't want to offend Spurs fans because they're very keen on the cockerel.
The Arsenal keeper looks like a highlighting marker in his purple kit.
Yeah, he does. That particular one looks like you'd win from like Team of the Week on FIFA,
Yes.
and you're just using it because, yo. I couldn't quite tell if that ball went out all the way. Arteta just can't help himself. He cannot help himself. Oh, it was a free kick. Okay. That makes a bit more sense. But yeah, I guess here, Partey doesn't provide them that same get the ball, get rid of it, get it forward aggressiveness that Rice does. And it shows because they just have nowhere to go. Oh. Spurs just got to calm down here. You can already see like Kulishevsky getting animated every single time somebody comes within 5 feet of him. Just they're getting all
just
the
a nice
best
break for
parts.
Arsenal here. I mean, that's always the risk of your Spurs is like you give up so much space at the back that it should really be easy to get hit on the break. Like Spurs with slow defenders are going to be in a hell of a lot of trouble under Big Ange.
Oh, first yellow card of the game. Wow, look at that pass accuracy though for Spurs.
Yeah, I mean they're getting their bonuses this week.
Yeah. But man, like this, I don't think we're gonna see the amount of cards that we saw from Chelsea Bournemouth yesterday, but I think we're gonna have a hefty amount, especially with the amount of chirping coming from the Arsenal players. Especially with the rule now that only the captain can go down there, and you just see Jorginho actively shoving people away. Like we already got our best defender booked. Please don't make this any worse. And our best defender for a foul in the middle of the pitch. Nevertheless, it's not ideal. But yeah, I don't understand what Poro was trying to do there. You've just got the ball back from a free kick, and your first play is to try to thread it through 6 defenders to Solanke, who is questionably onside. I don't know. This is Spurs' problem a lot of times. They get in their own head way too early. They really have a decent handle on this game, I think, from the first 17 minutes or so. But now watch, they just get just so many unnecessary chances on their goal because they just can't. It's like, oh. Now, oh God, it's going to be one of those games where just every single free kick, they just want to take from wherever the ball lands. Wow. Vicario. That could have been a bad one.
That was good goalkeeping, I think, there.
Yeah.
Like brave goalkeeping.
Yeah, I have a feeling they're going to try to say Romero handled it. It popped off of Vicario onto his arm, but if you're going to call that, then you're in some serious trouble.
The boss says that the ref doesn't slow this thing down, could get ugly with cards, but that's a good thing. It should get ugly with cards. I'm not getting up this early on a Sunday morning to watch a clean game.
Yeah. Yeah, if Arsenal were just so happy to get another. All right, hold on.
I don't think there's much tanning. Oh, it's opening up this game now. It's opening up. I don't think there's that much more tanning that White could get.
Let's put this up to full screen. See what I can do.
I mean, it looks to me like Arsenal playing almost a 4-4-2 when they lose the ball. Which is like an odd kind of defensive way of playing for an Arteta side. The boss says Martinelli is one of those guys. I just think he just looks like a troglodyte, so you're always going to assume he's regressed in life. Never mind anything else. 20 minutes in we are so far. It's not boring, but I want to see the first punch thrown more than I want to see any of the goals.
Let's see if I can.
Spurs just doing the tippy-tappy stuff. It's the only way to watch it.
Yeah, my dad was a big NASCAR guy and always used to yell at me when I'd call for the crashes.
Why would you watch NASCAR if it wasn't?
That's
if it wasn't for the crashes, because watching people go round and round and round is not the best entertainment, to be fair.
I'm trying to. Now, hold on. Where?
I do not like cars going in a circle. I like cars going at 5 miles an hour because that's the speed I drive. I'm allergic to non-entertaining football games. Another good shot there from Arsenal. That space in behind is really going to kill Spurs. Another corner here for Arsenal, who are taking the corner from left to right.
Oh, why is this not?
Ooh.
The car has kind of gotten them out of jail a couple times today. Let me. let's. Oh.
I mean, I'm not seeing much of Arsenal outside of counter-attack and breakaways, so that must be their choice for this game.
I don't understand what they're trying to do. I get that with the high line, that may be something that you kind of want to give yourself when you got guys with pace. But to just give up so much of the ball for seemingly not much payoff is just weird for a team that's supposed to be world beaters like they are, even with their injuries and stuff like that and suspensions. For a team that puts themselves as clearly they want to be the first or second in the league, and they're playing like a team that is not in that position.
It's funny though, like managers like Arteta will come out after a loss and say we're not going to compromise our principles no matter what, and then they go and compromise their principles when it suits them.
Yeah, it's that for a team that has built their identity on dynamism in these past couple of years, they don't seem to be wanting to do much in terms of positivity unless kind of Spurs fall on their face, which right now, Udogie, just shoot the ball. Yeah.
Another yellow.
Yeah, just careless. Like you get the ball back and then you just pinball it around. And now you get the guy that's got to deal with Saka for the rest of the game on a yellow. And it's a guy that we've seen sent off a whole bunch of times. So that's not ideal if you're rooting for Spurs to win, but it's neither here nor there. Yeah. When Kulusevski got that ball through and Udogie didn't shoot it, I don't understand. And right, just
is it just me or like players in the Premier League being allergic to shooting these days?
I don't understand why that need to get the ball 1 inch away from the keeper before shooting. More people should be like John Duran was yesterday and be like, "Oh, I got 8 feet of space. Let me just take a risk."
That's exactly what it should be. Ooh, close one there. And Raya knows it. Raya knows it.
But that's
actually, it was a nice save.
Just a looping header.
Is it possible that Dominic Solanke was the answer to our prayers yesterday? We should have had him.
But no, think of all the chances he's missed in the past 2 games, according to Gary Neville. Oh wait, the 2 games he missed.
It's all about the stats, Trevor. 0 shots on target, 0 goals.
Absolutely horrible strike rate from the trainer's table. But this, I got. Let me see if I can.
I was all happy that I was going to put a ticker up there underneath with the score, but what's happening to put on it?
Yeah. We can start putting the yellow cards in there if you want.
Yeah, we probably should think about doing that. Arsenal on the break here. And the Peters into nothing because yet again they want to walk the ball into the box.
Yeah. Put on the ticker. Leandro Trossard thought about shooting for 4 seconds. And even now they're being like compact defensively. They're just leaving so many gaps for Spurs to run into if they really want to. But I think they just seem really keen on trying to work it into get a cross in. Did they not think Solanke can shoot with his feet? That he's only going to be able to put a shot on target via a header? I don't.
I mean, I don't remember him being particularly fantastic with his head at Liverpool. Certainly not would not have been one of the things that I've known him for. So I hope that's not their thinking. And again, you could get a cross in there. You don't have to have it in perfectly placed. Wayward shot from Spurs out completely past the goal. I never understand professional players overhitting the ball from that distance. There's the Spurs lineup. That has Son in the number 10 spot, but he actually seems to be playing more out on the left wing.
Yeah, I think Johnson is kind of the way they have that set up on there. I think I've seen more Kulusevski in the middle and Brian Johnson kind of going out right. And like, yeah, you said, Son on the left. But Son was also coming in the middle a bit earlier. But it was still Kulusevski and Johnson flip-flopped where they were. But I don't know. That may just be something where they got everything floating around. But, what?
I mean, should you be relying on Kai Havertz for your goals? I mean, that it's just a puzzler to me.
Yeah, like in certain moments, I think is a guy that can crop up in a big spot and get a goal. But I've always viewed him kind of in that, not necessarily Darwin Nunez role in regards to the amount of shots he takes, but he's always a guy that I think could impose his will in the second half of a game rather than from the jump. For the first half of a lot of games, he either gets a goal early and then does nothing or just does nothing. And if he comes in off the bench, he'll either do nothing and then get a goal late. So there's like 75 minutes of play time in the middle of the game where if he gets an assist, it kind of comes from nothing. I don't know.
Arsenal camping out for a little bit outside the Spurs box. I also didn't realize Leverkusen have already lost this season in Germany.
Yeah. No back-to-back invincibility. But
I've got to say no back-to-back titles either, which is what I said at the end of last year. There's almost as many yellow cards as shots on target in this game. That's how it's going.
Spurs is ahead though in the yellow card game though. If that ends up being what we end up putting in the bottom line, yellow Spurs 2, Arsenal 1, and that's
flailing goalkeeper arms there. I mean, Spurs are winning the possession game. They've had 70% of it.
Yeah.
Arsenal should be up a goal, I think, at this point.
Yeah, Vicari's had a couple good saves / punches where he's got his defenders out of jail. I legitimately don't know what Romero has. He's a guy that gets so many plaudits for being like this rough, no-nonsense defender. I think he's just a guy a lot of times that puts his team in awful positions, whether it be in his antics or his positioning. And having a team that has the aspirations at Spurs to run him out there so regularly, you kind of just get what you get for that. I've never understood the shine on Christian Romero. He's a guy that I view as a horrendous liability.
Twitch says people have a defender who gets goals. I would have loved a defender who gets goals yesterday. That would have been nice. Arsenal's corner is incredibly weird. Like they all start from the back post and they all make a run to the front post and then nobody's there and then they just lose the ball anyway. It's a lot of over-rehearsed nonsense. And it's another card.
And we got ourselves a little melee.
There's now officially
who's in the middle of it. Wow, Christian Romero.
Yeah. There's as many yellow cards as shots on target now officially.
Oh.
This ref looks like he can't handle this game.
And once again, Jorginho telling Martinelli to go away. Now what? I didn't even see what happened.
The referee looks like that student teacher on their first day in the rough school.
Just let me write my name on the blackboard. You can call me Mr. Fart Knocker all you want, but I have to do this. I want to see what happened.
Ooh, actually, on the replay there, Saka looked a bit. Was that whoever went in there? Just that looked a bit nasty. That did.
Yeah, it was. Timber went a little.
Timber, yeah.
So now is Arsenal back up? No, all right. It's level on yellows now. But that's. Now,
one angle makes it look really innocuous, like he was just trying to pull back the ball.
That one. Why did he just go? Why was that his reaction to the keeper coming over? Like, why are you kicking my guy to just go? Why did he do that? I don't know what type of.
That's old school. It's the North London palaver.
Oh, and now. Did Vicario just get booked for dissent or
for having his shirt pulled in a 1970s way?
Yeah. What are you saying, wise guy?
Oh man, this referee is not going to live this down. There's going to be a red card in this game. It's going to be fun.
Oh,
3 yellow cards to Spurs now.
Yeah, and the way it's going, I'm like.
Yeah, actually, that angle there makes it. He was just trying to do a pullback type thing. I don't think it was as nasty as it looked. From that,
it was kind of what we the whole Curtis thing from last year, where he went over the ball and then he hit the guy. It looks awful when you slow it down from the one angle where it looks like he just studs him, but. Hey, that's the benefit of having 104 cameras. You can kind of find what actually happened eventually. It's just whether or not they want to air it in a timely fashion and not just in a 1-second throwaway clip as they go back to a throw-in. But yeah, I do not see this game ending 11 versus 11.
Nope.
It may not make it out of the first half.
I couldn't take a guess what the score might be, but I can tell you there won't be 22 players on the field, and possibly one of the managers as well.
Yeah, I don't know how Arteta hasn't been booked yet.
Maybe he's like, the one thing that would get him booked probably would be like, having an argument with Big Ange, but then he looked across it. Nah, I don't fancy it.
No. Postecoglou just goes, "Sit down, mate," and he goes, "Okay."
Nah. You got a problem, mate. You got a problem. You will have one.
Now
I'm from Adelaide. Because I don't know if they're tough in Adelaide or not. My cousin lives in Adelaide. She's tough, so they probably are.
Now they have.
If you have anybody watching from Australia, you can let us know how tough the Adelaide people are. Although she's technically Maori New Zealand, so she was already tough beforehand.
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10 of toughness, put whatever end you want on a pillow versus a
Chuck Norris.
Yeah. Where on the scale of toughness do the people of Adelaide fall? Is it about a grizzly bear, a perturbed grizzly bear?
I will tell you how tough they are. My dad was put into prison once for knocking 2 Alsatian dogs, so German Shepherd dogs, out. Knocked them out cold when he was in the army.
I don't know why.
It's his 21st birthday, and he had pints of Guinness still to be drunk, and he had to go back to the whatever they are, the dorms or whatever you have in the military. And he wouldn't until he finished his Guinness, so they brought the military police. And so they brought the German Shepherds, and he knocked them both out.
It's just, I'm trying to think of how where you're just throwing a punch at a dog's face.
Drunkenly, I think, is the word.
Yeah,
that's the adjective I would use. Drunkenly. It's weird about this game that, like, the entertainment factor is the fouls. It's not the football.
But early on, though, Spurs were really doing some just really great work to break down what Arsenal was trying to do, and then they just stopped.
Yep.
Like they missed one big opportunity and then just tried to like run the ball into the net the rest of the time outside of that one fadeaway Solanke header. And
so here's the thing just there, is like Spurs try and play out from the back. They do that crappy little pass across the 6-yard box to get it into their left back corner, and he just loses the ball anyway.
Yeah, I hate that this has become a norm because there are so many defenders who make wayward sideways passes, and it's already happened, I think, like 4 or 5 times this year that a team has done this routine and got scored on immediately.
Yeah, I mean, it's like recency bias. It's, with the one time it does work, you go, see, this is what we do it for. And I don't get it. Like, if something's working all the time, then do it. But if it's not showing any consistent positive results, then why do that thing? Yeah. That's why I loved the long ball game. I don't care what anybody says about it. It got the ball into the area of the field where the most stuff happens, which is the box. Another failed corner. Corners are another load of nonsense. Like, I want to see a team. I liked Tony Pulis's teams for the simple fact that they had corner kick routines. That's what I like. I want to see an actual well-rehearsed, like, fake runs and everything. Routines.
They had Rory Delap with
yeah, he threw the
longest
corners
throws in the world.
Smoochin says risk reward on the passing out of the back, but the reward seems to be to lose the ball in your own half. Let's not have that nonsense. I mean, that is a good point. He didn't have any attacking drills and he could practice set pieces all day. And why did we suffer for it sometimes?
Oh yeah, that.
I think Rory Delap works for the NFL now, throwing the ball, and possibly the baseball people as well.
But yeah, I still that the Stevie G send off. Stoke was Pulis the manager for that one, or was he at West Brom at that point?
What year was it?
The Stoke 6. Let me look it up. Why speculate when you have
Google?
Indeed.
That's another thing that really gets on my nerves a little bit when people will post on Facebook. Does anybody know when X, or does anybody know what this is? And then you just type this on a computer. Like, well, why don't you use the computer to your advantage? Oh, shot from Spurs there from the top corner. 3 minutes of stoppage time. That's surprising given the amount of yellow cards in the fight.
It was the first year of the Mark Hughes era.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Now I remember. Whatever happened to Mark Hughes?
Google, whatever happened to Mark Hughes?
Smoochin says, what a great half of football. I got up early for this.
It was a great half of a half. Like I'd say the first 20 minutes or so wasn't that bad, but then it's just devolved.
It's a great half. It's a great half of football if you're doing your referee badges.
But if you're a Spurs fan, even with what the subtractions that you have today,
and another card's coming out.
There we go.
I think that was persistent infringement.
Oh,
so
Spurs just got 2. Kulusevski got 1, and Van de Ven got 1.
I just want to say,
correctly,
yellow cards are now outnumber shots in total.
But the thing that I like though is at least the 2 captains are making sure that they're kind of keeping everybody else away. Or else I think this game would have been even worse, because I agree with you that this refereeing team, both the guys on the sidelines, they're just all of the scrappiness going over there. The head ref's not going to get everything all the time. And you just have not a lot of control over things.
So we should talk about the covering of the mouth. That seems to me to be almost like that American football thing where they hold their playbooks over their mouth, even though they have microphones in front of them.
Or he just is saying something unsavory and knows that he has a camera on him, and
or he has
the guy that,
or he has halitosis.
Hey, it could be something where he's just being generous. He goes, you know what?
I mean,
I had a bit of a stinky breakfast, so
they exist in a culture where everything is done for them. These top level professionals. So maybe the person that brushes their teeth for them didn't show up that day.
It could be a public health concern where it's just
they're being good people, good citizens. And it's half time. What a load of nonsense. But at least the drama factor is up for off the field stuff. So with that said, it's got to be halftime here at American.
We're halfway to the 14 from Bournemouth. I said I didn't think they would reach 14, but they're at 7 at halftime, and this game's not going to get any less chippy. So
yep.
I think we may get a new Premier League record in back-to-back days.
We may well do. But it's half time for Trevor and I, so we will be back in 15 customary minutes, full of pie and beer, possibly. And we will see everybody for the second half. Enjoy the halftime break. Ta-da! And as if by magic, Maka reappears. So coming up to the second half there, let me take the glasses off so we can see things, which is weird. Before we get back to it, because I didn't get to see the game yesterday, and because I had to work on it. I'm so glad I did. What, Trevor? What was your reaction to it? Was there? No, I think it's no. Yeah, I had to see the highlights. I didn't even get to see the full game, but from the highlights alone, it looked like we were devoid of ideas a little bit up front. Was there anything in there like that scared you a little bit? Was there anything that made you think, "Oh, this we didn't see this in the preseason for Arnie Slot"? Or is it just a case of he maybe shouldn't have played the same team as last week after international week? Last game.
It's a lot of stuff that you can just kind of go hindsight 2020 on. It's not something where I want to burn the whole restaurant down after one bad lunch rush. And I think that's a lot of things where people are just there was, I'd say, a lot of players that were not up to it, and a lot of guys that could have, in retrospect, been rotated out for at least this game. But Forest was a team that were just determined to do nothing and hopefully get one or two counterattacks, and they did, and scored on one of them in a kind of a not necessarily fluky type of play, but just how it ended up in where it did, and just it's the perfect storm, and they got a goal. And last year it was something where if that happened, I would have been like, okay, you can still come back and go get two on this team. They're kind of full of themselves now, and then they're going to make mistakes. There was just never that impetus. I never saw that real drive to go at least get an equalizer in the last 20 minutes of yesterday, which was a bit troubling. But I think, just respond at the San Siro. It's going to be a huge thing for both the manager and the players. Just don't get rolled over by a Milan team that is not off to a great start. That's all I can ask for, is just have a response and show that this is a blip on the radar and not the start of a trend.
The Spurs and Arsenal players are out in their huddles, pre-second half huddles. Looking at it,
nobody gave Brennan Johnson the memo. he was out on the edge to do the kickoff, and then he just kind of runs in at the last second. Nobody told me we're doing the whole huddle thing.
I was going to say that was half the team, as mathematically 50% as you can get of the Spurs team on yellow cards. So they're going to have to sub all of them off, or one of them's going down on a red card situation.
And they show Arteta on the bench looking like a kid that just got told that he's not going to be able to go to the playground if he doesn't eat his broccoli.
Second half kicked off. No changes that I can see.
No, I didn't see any come up on the feed, which is odd for a first half that had 7 yellow cards. That at least one of them, because I think at least Timber for Arsenal, I thought they would have went for Kiwior, and because he's a guy that has been flying into tackles, and I say if he's still on the field in the 70th minute, he probably won't be in the 75th because he would have gotten sent off.
Forced attack from Arsenal there.
Yeah, and
maybe they had like a first half, second half strategy planned out. It's never going to happen, but I would take Son.
Oh, I absolutely love Heung-min Son as a player and as a human being. He'd fit the ethos of the club.
Yeah, he would completely fit Liverpool.
Yeah.
Not that he doesn't fit Spurs. He is like the talisman now at Spurs, but
yeah.
I don't know what age he is. He must be hitting 30.
Let's see. He is, as of this very day, 32.
Oh wow! So he already gave 30 a slap on the head on the way past it. We'll take him.
I'd take him for a year still.
Yeah, he's a quality player. Offside there against Arsenal. So Spurs offside trap actually worked there. But it may not. That might be the crucial thing. It may not work that one time. That's the one time that everything falls apart for you, as we found out to our detriment yesterday.
Yep. You got to just have everybody checked in the entire time. And yeah, it sounds simplistic to say, but
oh no, it was an offside against Spurs. Pardon me. See, this is why we do the Spurs are playing left to right and Arsenal are playing right to left thing. There's me mocking radio, but they had it right. Spurs on the attack from I want to call that a little mistake or a stumble there from the Arsenal player, and bit of pinball there in the 6-yard box. Could have went anywhere, but Dominic Solanke was on the ball, so it went out.
because he had to get it on his head, which it seems to be the only way they will let him put a shot towards goal is if it's on his head.
Yeah, literally, yeah, that's what it was. He headed it right into the ground. It was actually like almost a textbook header, just lacked accuracy.
Oh, did it take a touch on the way
It
out?
must have done, yeah. That's where that pinball thing was that I saw that didn't appear in the other angle. So here's what's possibly going to be. I was going to say waste of corner, but that was a nice little side header there, but right at the keeper. So Arsenal get away with it.
Yeah, I'm up.
The
There's a while I
irony,
hated short corners, but now I'm kind of indifferent to them. Like if you have something where there's a bit to get them out of their defensive groove, and what?
Oh, another yellow. There we go.
That's my thing. Like, if the captain is complaining about his own card, does that count? Because you're not supposed to complain about it. But is it like double jeopardy? You can't. Da-da-da. But yeah, I'm still if there is a bet to make in the second half, is that there will be a sending off.
Yes.
Anytime goal scorer, that's a loser's bet at this point, I think. But
this is going to be the other irony. It's going to be an Arsenal player that gets sent off.
Yeah.
After all the Spurs yellows, it'll be an Arsenal player that ends up getting sent off. Thank you, all 6 of you who liked us on Facebook. We appreciate the likes. Make sure you're subscribing as well, so you get to hear more of, idiots like us talking about a football game, talking about 22 men kicking a ball around the field of a Sunday morning.
Let's talk about Supergrass on Thursday.
That album was fantastic, that Why Should Coco? It was a fantastic album.
As close to a no skip from that era as you can.
I can't think of a no skip on it, but I think what's the one that we're not supposed to? That song that's in like high speed. It's like 78 RPM for the entire song. They sound like chipmunks on it. That was a bold and cheeky and very Supergrass move for your debut album. But then on a Channel 4 TV show called The White Room, they played at its normal speed. It's a really great song at its normal speed. They played Going Out, that song, and Strange Ones to finish in a 3-song set. It was really good. And they had a horn section and everything.
But it would have been funny to people that had never heard like the song at all, and then just be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go check this out." The album. And they just get smacked in the face with Alvin, Simon, and Theodore. Oh man, like I get it. You want to throw your big guys up for corners and stuff, but Van de Ven can't be the only guy trying to score on corners. He's going for the headers, and then he's the only one chasing after the ball afterwards.
I love a good pressing game as much as the next person, probably more so. But I don't get spectators applauding somebody running up to press and deflecting the ball out for a goal kick or a throw in. Like, you've just given the ball back to the other team anyway in a more favorable condition. Winning the ball from a press, now that's worthy of applause.
Mikel, the ball went out over there. It's like 3 times now that he's trying to like get his guys to take a throw in like 50 feet away from where it was.
This is not the location you were looking for.
Now do it more Lego-y.
It's like Mikel Arteta stars as Uri Geller. I'm going to make this throw and going out down there using the power of my mind. That's how he sounded, millennial kids. Not that you even know who Uri Geller is. Con artist would be the word I would use.
That's what Google's for. And you can mash it up in your brain of take Mikel Arteta as an entity and put it with that and mash it together, and it'll make perfect sense. We promise. But what are we doing? I've never understood that where you're breaking one way and then all of a sudden it's just like, nah, I'm gonna just pass it backwards. It was like first year.
It's frustrating, yeah.
Yeah, it was first year Jordan Henderson energy where it's just, and I'll admit I was one of those people that would always give him crap for just sideways pass, backwards pass. If we were doing passing yardage, like an NFL quarterback, he would have negative passing yards every game. But as time wore on, that stigma kind of fell off, and there's a lot more to Hendo's game than that. I think it may have just been an initial bit of nerves making the jump from Sunderland to Liverpool. But
that wasn't the football team. That was just going from one city to the other.
Yeah.
Sunderland to a modern city. What do you mean you don't have trams?
Oh.
That's the worst Sunderland accent ever. That was a nice take there.
I'm trying to just let it go. Just let it burn into. And now Romero made one move, and now he's injured forever. A little Krampskis. But.
Players get very intimate with each other when somebody goes down injured. It's really weird. Like, you didn't even give him a pat on the backside there. Like, you just say, all right, mate. Yeah, okay, get up then. That's all you need.
Yeah, if I was sitting there kind of massaging out my hammy, I wouldn't want somebody that close to me. I would just be like...
I wouldn't want them rubbing my earlobe because that's what he did. Watch it back.
Hey, maybe it's just a Dutch thing. Maybe that's something we're going to have to get used to with...
Arnie Slot will not be going anywhere near my earlobe. I'll tell you that much for free.
The one day we'll see somebody. We'll put in this instance just to keep the consistency with the positions. We'll see Kanate on the ground, which makes sense. It would be trying to get a knot out of his hamstring, and then just Gravenberch whispers sweet nothings into his ear and gives him a little peck on the lobe. But until then,
what's going to happen? I've just figured this out. What's going to happen is there's going to be an egregious, straight up red card foul, and the ref's not going to call it. That's what's going to happen. After giving low yellows,
if I had to guess, it would come from Romero.
Probably, yeah. But it'll be like
Oh, and we got a counter from, and Kai Havertz's last ball is just not enough to get to Martinelli, and Van de Ven, the only guy that seems that
pass would have had more power if he'd just let it run instead of moving it. He actually slowed the ball down by striking it, thus breaking the laws of physics.
Yeah. Kai Havertz, Sir Isaac Newton's least favorite player.
Yeah. Turns potential energy into lack of potential energy.
He's a true alien of the game. And now we get to watch them make 6 passes in their own box, scaring the absolute dog shit out of their fans. Now, here we go.
I mean, it worked, and then everybody will say, well, that's why we do it. But when it doesn't work, nobody says, maybe we should rethink this. It's
Yeah,
just recency bias, like.
it's always, yeah, the one time you get out of jail, you use that as the
template.
For just, see, look at the one time it worked.
The equivalent of it is if you win the lottery and then go, see, everybody should pick 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Everybody. That's what wins it. Because I did. Corner coming in. And it's already stopped.
And
for fisticuffs or some such.
Love how he has to tell the two probably smallest guys on the field to stop scrapping.
Yeah, but he also put his hands on his hips to do it, thus confirming his substitute teacherness.
Yes. Oh my God.
Just under pressure, under zero pressure, I don't get overhitting crosses.
Yeah, the two fullbacks, the two fullbacks for Spurs today have had the same quality of final ball as we had all of yesterday.
The same quality of final ball as I had when I was 6.
Like, I don't know where Pedro Porro ends and Dominic Szoboszlai begins at this point, with just how terrible their final passes have been. And now,
nice break from Arsenal there,
and
a good recovery.
That seems to be happening a lot. Like, it just, you get a guy in space, and it's the guy that you want to have the ball the least.
Yeah,
there was one point yesterday where the ball just kind of slid and broke through, and I'm like, oh God, this is such a great passage of play, and then it just falls on Andy Robertson's right foot and he falls over the ball. I'm like, crud. You're like, for all this like ping pong back and forth, everything got in there, and it's just, in the end, you're like, oh, that was the worst possible outcome for what we needed.
Speaking of which, there, Brendan Johnson with a weak left foot shot after doing all that running. Trickled in.
Right
into his hands.
Helping Raya's save numbers. Which they, and it goes back to a point that Timuchin made in the first half of how fantasy football and that's with fantasy sports all across the board, how much people pay attention to certain things because of that. When they're talking about how many saves like a bad goalkeeper has, and you're like, oh man, but that's like 3 points.
Yeah.
You're like, well, it's not a good thing that he's making this many saves.
But it's like when fantasy football first came out, like fantasy soccer football rather than like you guys football, because I think you guys had fantasy leagues a good bit before became fantasy soccer over there. Like there was no stats, there was just goals and shots, and then assists became a thing. So people were looking at this player has X amount of assists per season. But they were counting everything, like literally a rebound as an assist. Another corner for Spurs here.
I was going to say,
from Madison.
Madison with
the mullet. Madison has a mullet. Very disappointed in him.
Oh no! I was hoping that he would get the ball off the circle in the corner to just really rile up that linesman.
Just another complete waste of a corner, which most of them are, to be fair. Oh, nice little rebound into a break there for Spurs, but do they have anything here? No, they do not. But Arsenal get a break.
And it's
3. Nope.
But that's the thing again. You have a ball come out in a break, and it falls to the dumpiest, slowest guy in Havertz, Whereas if you had Martinelli or Saka on the ball, you probably would have had Havertz be able to kind of roll in as that second wave, and you would have been in such better shape. Did Pearl get? He's all right. He's acting like he got hit in the stomach. I'm like, because he was grimacing like he got hit in the nuts. But now, what can they do from the corner?
Yeah, it's corner straight down to corner with no action in the boxes whatsoever. Oh.
They're all piling up at the far post again. And, oh, God.
And it worked. 1-0 Arsenal.
And I'm bitching all this time about fantasy sports, and this is the guy I pulled out of my lineup this week, and he goes and gets a goal. Oh, man. But that's what they needed from this. Now they are going to absolutely close up shop, I think. I think this last 26 minutes of regular time is going to be incredibly dull. Outside of probably 3 or 4 more yellow cards.
One single Spurs player
just went right through him. Oh, it went above him, but from that one angle, it looks like it goes right through him. He's just bullet header. Hell of a goal. First solid contact from a corner all day for either team, and it goes in the back of the net. Oh, you know he's really happy.
You just don't like to see Mikel Arteta celebrating.
But you know he got really happy because he jumped 4 inches off the ground.
4 inches off the ground, yep.
Instead of normal 2.
He's a real boy.
Now I really don't want to see Spurs like kick the ball back to the keeper.
I mean, that's what they're going to do. It's going to be like 20 minutes of Spurs knocking it around. Oh, no, they went long. Is it possible that Ange suffers at the end of the season if Spurs have a bad season? Has he got enough in the tank, the credit tank, to, if Spurs finish mid-table and are out of the cups early and all that, if it just happens to be a bad season?
Yeah, I'd say the only thing that could save him from not getting into a European place, or I'd say Europa League. I'd say that's the floor for them in the league. If they end up in the conference and don't win a trophy, I think he could definitely get the axe. I'm not certain that what this leadership group thinks of him entirely. They've obviously done enough, I think, in the transfer market and have kind of shed a lot of the dead weight that he didn't want. So that's at least positive in his regard. But I don't see him kind of surviving just in the climate of this league if they don't, even if it's just the League Cup. I think any bit of silverware saves him.
Especially if the Super League, the new UEFA Champions League format turns out to be a raging success and Spurs aren't in it next year. Yeah. You'd imagine that would have a bearing. Subs coming on for Spurs.
So is this
they should just put on 2 goalkeepers because that's where the ball seems to end up all the time. You may as well have 2 extra players to play that ball.
So we got Sarr and I think is it the kid? Odebear? Yeah. I couldn't see the second number for a second. And with both their hair done up like that, I couldn't tell if it was Jed Spencer or Odebear. And it's him. Well, let's just flash a little bit. I'm like, please no.
Another corner. No, goal kick. Yeah, Sarah Noel away for Betancourt and Brennan Johnson.
Oh, I really thought Jorginho was going to get now.
See, like, here's what I don't understand, right? You need a goal. You've, 12 minutes. No, 22 minutes. 22 minutes. You've got the majority, by overwhelming majority of the possession. And you've got one player up front. You know, at least go with two. Give yourself a chance to support that player if the ball gets up to them. Especially if, as
you could easily move Son centrally and give yourself a little pair up there. That fourth official's ears have to absolutely be bleeding.
He's probably deaf.
Just every 2 seconds looking over at Arteta just going, stop.
Yeah.
Stop. Nope.
It's just you beat the player on the outside with that. You get the space to go to the line, and you give that cross into the opposition.
It doesn't. Not only doesn't get past the first man, like rolls to the first man. Like,
yeah. I don't see where the foul was there. You have to actually. Have to be in Porro's corner there. You got the ball as far as I could see.
Oh, but yep, top team Arsenal going with the. So Romero just
astoundingly badly defended corner.
Romero just lets him go and then puts his arms out and looks to the side like he wasn't the one marking Gabriel. But yeah, I did not see and the troubling thing is like Arsenal hasn't really changed anything that they did from the first half. Like they're still kind of herky-jerky. There's no real flow to their play. They're just even their counters are a bit weird because they're trying to like release Havertz and stuff. But Spurs, they just cannot get out of their own way. And it's kind of been their thing forever. And I've never understood how you can change players over and over again, but you're still just you're the same
players
old
and managers.
Yeah.
That was a nice turn. Nothing will come of it, but it was a nice turn. No, see, just everybody else just giving the responsibility to everybody. Yeah, it's so annoying. I cannot understand why that's tolerated by coaches and managers. Everybody just passing the responsibility to the next person to take the shot. Just take the shot. Worst thing that happens is you lose the ball for a goal kick. You get to reset. Best thing that happens.
That's the shot, and that's the shot you get.
But by taking the shot, you're creating. Like that could have got a deflection, which would have thrown the Arsenal keeper off, or a beach ball could have come out with a crowd. But like passing the responsibility to somebody else, you're just going to end up losing the ball anyway.
Rice had a couple spill out already.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But nobody was there to pounce on it. Yeah.
Give him something to think about. Especially if he's nervous in any way, or is having one of those the yip games. I think, is that what you call it in baseball? The yips?
Yeah. This is
because Arsenal don't have to do anything now. They just have to not concede and keep the ball. They don't have to go forward with it. They don't have to go into the other half if they don't want to. They will, but they don't have to. And just wait for Spurs to overcommit and then pick them off.
oh.
Don't make him angry. You wouldn't like him if he was angry.
When did that rip? That was like he just got. That was like the thing from before when like Timber went up to Vicario. Did Timber go up to him and just go?
Yeah.
Oh!
Make sure your passes are better.
But it's
like there's no urgency about Spurs here. They're like walking the ball in possession.
Now I'd be after all this. Just
yeah. Nice idea for the back heel, but you got to get those spot on. Anybody remember when Klopp came into Liverpool, there was like a spate of back heel passes from Emre Can for like a week and a half, like over 3 or 4 games or something like that. He was killing it with the back heel passes, and then it all stopped.
It has a quite short shelf life. The back
we look like Brazil in 1970, and
unless you're
Brazil.
like Bobby Firmino.
I mean Alan Brazil.
Alan Brazil now. But I
mean, Arsenal are covering the spaces quite well, but it's not difficult for them. The ball's just going left and right and left and right and left and right.
But that's what was frustrating about the first half then, because it wasn't this compact. There wasn't this I'd say more competent marking, and Spurs couldn't take advantage. And again, just their only game plan seems to be try to get Dominic Solanke to head the ball into the goal. And it's like nobody wants to shoot. They just want
It's possible they still think they're playing with Harry Kane up front, and they go, well, Solanke has a K-A-N and an E in his name, so it must be the same.
Yeah. He just got a decent tan. But
another Arsenal break, because Spurs are incredibly wasteful with the ball, and they give away a throw in. 76th minute.
Yeah.
It should be 1-1 probably if Spurs had actually, used their noggins a little bit and not Dominic Solanke's noggin.
Yeah.
Every time. It's not an exciting game by any stretch.
And another offsides. Let's see who was off. Oh, yeah.
It was offside, but it's marginal.
Back to what you were saying before about walking the ball up. Like I get not trying to try to have your ducks in a row, get everything in order, and not lose the ball when you need it to go get a goal. But just taking 15 seconds to get the ball from your box,
the 6 yard to the edge of the 18.
Yeah, when you're down a goal in a derby in the 77th minute, just I don't get how they're 2 shots in the pat. Oh, now, yep, this is going to be the answer. Great. Timo Werner time.
Timo Werner.
That's basically what he's been since he
he's the
left
Kai
Leipzig
Havertz.
the first time.
He's the Kai Havertz of Spurs.
Oh, now we get Johnny Four Clubs, Raheem Sterling. Yeah, getting his Anelka award. But this.
I could see Sterling scoring though.
Now is he bringing in Werner to complement Solanke or take him off? Because that would make absolutely no sense.
See, when you say it that way, all I had in my head is he walks up to Solanke, he goes, your hair's nice today.
All right, so it's Madison.
Yeah, because he keeps over hitting crosses. That's because he has a mullet.
But I think he's finally thinking to do what we were talking about earlier. Just go with two up top.
If they get anything out of this, we should get credit for it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh man, he just got a new jersey.
That's like the biggest waste of a costume change ever. It'd be like if, Superman and Christopher Reeve's Superman was running down the alley and he pulls open his shirt and tie, and then there's another shirt and tie underneath it.
And then immediately gets rid of the shirt and tie and comes off. And just like goes back to work.
Raheem Sterling. Runs like a 5-year-old.
Yep. Here's the flippers. He's a baby.
He runs like, for anybody who ever watched the Goldbergs on TV, he runs like the kid that was Big Tasty. The older brother. That was quite a funny show for a while.
Wasn't on my radar. But yeah, he's a baby seal. He's always. I just.
You're running out of time with the walking with the ball and sideways passes and bad deliveries into people's feet that look like they're going to go out for a throw-in. And another overhit cross.
Yeah, I don't think. I'm going to go look at the stats. Has Poro completed a single cross today? I would venture to say no. It says that he connected on 2 out of 5. I will dispute those numbers.
I mean, he connected with the ball. Oh, penalty show here, it looks like.
Yeah.
Nah, a nothing penalty show. A penalty whisper.
Yeah. A penalty note pass.
A penalty thought. Hey, guys, if you could just score now, that'd be great. I've got to go to court later on, mate.
That
was less Big Ange and more Jason Statham. Gotta go to court, mate. I'm a bit tasty.
I'm a beekeeper.
Come on, Spurs. Come on.
It's literally it's like Solanke has a magnet in his head, but it can't. But it's the reverse polarity, so the ball
reverse polarity, yeah,
in the right direction. It gets there, and then it's immediately like, whoa. Oh my God.
So this guy ran out of the line to collect the ball that was going to the player he ended up giving it to anyway, instead of just staying up there and being an extra option for Spurs to pass into. I know. Here's what we'll do, team. Okay, we'll put you in there up front to get goals, but hang out on the left wing.
Yeah, be as close to the left corner flag as you can possibly
As
be.
we possibly getting as far away from the goal we need to aim at.
Yeah.
Tell you now, this job's easy.
And when you get those crosses, make sure they don't get past the first man, because if they do,
and if they do, make sure they go to Dominic Solanke's reverse polarity head.
Yeah. If it goes to anybody's head but Solanke's, we're gonna have ourselves some words.
If you want to know the trajectory of the ball going towards Dominic Solanke's head, do that thing with the styrofoam cup where you put static on it and then put it next to a running faucet and the water bends. That's exactly what happens when the ball gets to Dominic Solanke's head.
And it's just, I don't remember him getting like a ton of headed goals for Bournemouth last year.
Yeah.
Like he was the guy on penalties, and he had a lot from like open play and like ball on the ground goals. I'm like, I don't understand why this is their main usage of him. And now going back to show the one goal and then the one leap, bringing tears to us all. Now if like just,
and then Magalhaes' celebration there with that I want a big donut after this game, a big donut, not one of those weedy ones that Anand can't finish.
Just not from Walmart. Just don't get the Walmart donuts.
I mean, they are disgusting.
Oh,
I had a Krispy Kreme donut the other night. I went to see John Stewart, not the prog rock keyboard or guitar player, whatever he was. John Stewart, and got a Krispy Kreme donut, and it was exactly the same as a Big Y donut. Exactly the same. But he didn't have to drive an hour and a half to get it. To go to Big Y.
Now, and Burners bailed out because Gabby Jesus defending makes sense.
I think that the referee had a word with himself at half time, because he's not giving out the yellow cards half as frequently now as he was in the first half.
Yeah, there's only been one in the second half. It's very early on, and I thought that was going to just be a continuation of it, but once
right into Slagger's head, and then in any direction but the one it needs to go.
I don't get it. Afterwards, we should put this.
Dominic Solanke is
Arsenal 1, Dominic Solanke's head 0. That's where it should be on.
Dominic Solanke is a living physics experiment. He is quantum mechanics in a human form.
It's reached the point of insanity at this point.
He's the personification of the double slit experiment.
And a million miles offsides. He knows it, yet still decides to run for whatever. Come on. Oh, now you're coming up lame after you decide to run, after you saw the offsides flag come up from a billion miles away. You knew you were off, yet you still went for the ball. And now, like, oh, I'm hot. Shut up, donkey.
Oh, nice
Hey.
header. Not from Dominic Solanke.
So it went towards the goal.
2 minutes left in the normal time of the game, and I don't think there's going to be a huge amount of injury time either. There's Teddy Sheringham. They should just run up and get Teddy Sheringham in.
He could probably still do a better header than anything Spurs has put together today.
He seems to be too busy stealing his grandkids' jelly babies, though. Jelly beans, whatever you call them.
No.
Yeah, that was terrible. That because what he should have done was pass that ball right across the back four of Spurs to the player on the right wing, and that would have been a better idea for a shot than what happened there. But Spurs on the break now anyway, and a pass to the Arsenal defender. I'd be questioning the training drills here if I was a Spurs fan, because that's ridiculous nonsense. And another cross into the Arsenal defender. Maybe they're playing the numbers game and they just realised that it might actually be much better off to randomly hit the ball towards an Arsenal defender's head than it would be to aim for Dominic Solanke.
Solanke's head may touch theirs, and the polarity it will transfer to them, and then they'll just try to head the ball away, and it will go backwards in for an own goal. Transference of metaphysical energy. I love it. They won't go in on a player that's swearing at anywhere on the field or on a ref, but they'll just leave it on the guy in the stands who's saying that it's fucking bullshit for 15 whole seconds as he's just yelling at somebody else in the stands.
5 minutes injury time now. Or stoppage time.
I'm sure we'll spend a significant portion of that seeing Arsenal players injured. This is just... But this whole game was pointing everything in like Spurs' favor. The first half, they had so many chances, and they just... Oh, okay.
Oh, now that was a nice shot. But too little, too late.
And I was going to say, no deflection.
I just want to...
Saving the old people not paying attention.
Talking about not paying attention there, Trevor. They're not even playing today, so I do. Come on, man. Come on. 24 hours later. That's a longer delayed reaction to Dominic Solanke jumping up for a header.
That's a topical reference.
I mean, I don't see what Spurs are doing right now that says we're a goal down in injury time. We need to get something back. Like, what risk are they taking? Like, go two at the back. Do something to like cause some problems for Arsenal instead of hoping that your game plan works out.
Because what you're doing at the moment is not
working, with the fact that you've not scored. 6 shots on target for Spurs against 4 for Arsenal.
And 2 of those were slow rollers, so those probably shouldn't even count.
They've 5 defenders in that line. You may as well lose at this stage of the season, lose 2-0 trying to get a goal back than lose 1-0 being defensively sound. Havertz is complaining because he was fouled in the lymph node.
And
I'd be so frustrated if I was a Spurs fan for that. Just a ball to nobody.
Yeah, this whole second half has just been. I don't know what it's just running the corner flag at this point. What are you doing if you're Jesus?
Come on, Spurs.
So you start an attack, and the person that gets the ball on the edge of the box is friggin' Christian Romero.
Offside as well, apparently.
How are you that so? What is going on? Oh my god! Oh, what a mess! What an absolute mess!
I feel only slightly less bad about yesterday's result after seeing this, to be honest. I feel bad for Spursy on the Tuesday night panel show.
Yeah, I think that's going to be two-way therapy on the show this week. Just have the couch as your guys' background. Like, where did it all go wrong?
Well, it won't be me. Tamicha's going to have to deal with that political fallout.
Now tell me, where did Dominic Zoboslai hurt you? All right.
Let me go. Last
header
roll
into Dominic Solanke. All right, son. Make something happen. Take a turn. Find some space. Good. I can at least applaud that. It's like it's an
attempt.
But now, here we go. One final cross into Dominic Solanke.
Nope. Another sharp pass square across the box. And
out. That's got to be it. Yep.
Ridiculous. We got up for this, Trevor. We woke up early on a Sunday morning for this. Sparky Parky's right. It's all over. And not just for the game, but for our sanity, Sparky. Having to watch that nonsense. So
last time we asked Spurs for a favor.
I mean, it's early enough that we can get them back for it. We hope. But yeah, what a ridiculous game that was for if you're a Spurs fan. I don't get it. You can have principles, but they can be malleable. You can do something a bit different rather than the same thing over and over and over. But it has to be. We give Arteta a lot of stick on these podcasts, but he played that almost perfectly, I think, tactically.
Yeah, we said in the first half it didn't look like they had much of a clue. It seemed everything was kind of all over the place. In the second half, they were more composed. They picked their spots and they scored on a set piece, which I think a lot of people were saying about this game that the goals were going to come from those spaces because that would probably be the spot where Arsenal would check out the most as a good defending team. The way that you beat good defending teams a lot of times are on set pieces when you catch them with a trick play or they're just checked out for that 1 second. But Spurs didn't make them work in the second half at all. And it's a damn shame that they had this derby come up at this time with Odegaard out, Calafiori out, Rice suspended, a bunch of other guys banged up, and Kai Havertz, the slowest man alive, leading the line, and you still find a way to lose 1-0. So If you're a Spurs fan, you have my sympathy. If you're an Arsenal fan, hey, maybe this is what kind of gets y'all back on track, because everybody was bitching about the whole Brighton result. But these are the types of things that you need to go win a title when you're shorthanded and you go get a goal from a defender to beat your rival. That can be a kick up the ass more than anything.
I mean, it can be, but we beat our.
We don't want it to be.
Yeah,
we don't want it to be.
We beat our biggest rivals.
I would prefer that any of the positivity that I just spewed in the past 45 seconds does not come to pass. But it can be.
We beat our biggest rival, and then subsequently went to lose to Forest of all teams. Yeah. So there's no guarantee of anything. But yeah, like just such a bad game to watch for the neutral, I think, and we didn't even get a red card. That was the biggest disappointment, I think.
I was talking it up so much like going into halftime. I thought it was almost guaranteed, and
then the ref chickened out. But
Jared Gillette, is that his name? Gillette, the best the man can get.
That's not what I heard. But yeah, just I mean, derbies aren't supposed to be entertaining in general, but if you're looking at Spurs as, you know, potential rivals for top 4 spots and all that, there's nothing there that you would see today where you would be threatened by them, because they have that one plan, and when it doesn't work, they don't have anything else. They don't even have a talismanic player that can create things out of nothing. And it's not Son. He's somebody who helps somebody else create something. But I don't think he's the match winner all by himself. Kane was that for all of his faults. He was the one player that you could, you know, you just give him half a chance and he's putting it in the back of the net. Or somebody else is putting it in the back of the net and he's claiming credit for it. But yeah, I'd be so upset if I was a Spurs fan to look at that today against a home game against your biggest rivals and go, we don't have much in the tank. This is not going to be a fun season to watch unless Big Ange pulls something out of the bag for the next few weeks. But yeah, no, not a great way to start a Sunday morning. Watching.
Yeah, I was hoping to have some commiseration, but now it's now I'm just double sad.
It's a good punch and a half. But so we're first of all thankful for everybody that joined us for this today. All 60 odd of it. Thank you so much for that. And if you're a Spurs fan, I hope it doesn't ruin your Sunday too much. If you're an Arsenal fan, Arteta's still made of Lego. Doesn't matter how many games you're in. But we will be back, I think, tomorrow morning with the one morning coffee show, and then tomorrow evening with the regular Monday podcast for anybody Liverpool fans out there. Next up is Newcastle. We're not doing a watch along for that. No. I'm definitely going back to bed. I need to untraumatize myself from that.
I gotta go wash the taste of that game out of my mouth.
But for anybody else, if you're a regular fan, if you're not a regular fan, you can follow us on YouTube. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and join our Patreon as well. We have our regular crew and schedule of shows for the weekend. But for us, back to Betty Boys for me for an hour or so. I very rarely get Sundays off, and now I just had to destroy it with that. But talking about Krispy Kreme has just given me a temptation for donuts, so I may just go and do that just to soothe myself and make myself a little bit fatter and closer to death. Because that's what you got to do after a game like that. Slowly kill yourself with sugar and diabetes. So Trevor, thanks for joining me this morning. And thank you for everybody for contributing. Trevor and I will be back on Thursday for a regular Thursday evening podcast where we may talk about Supergrass and I should cocoa a little bit more. But for everybody else, have a great weekend and peace out. Here's the trap music. Have a good one.